Well, welcome back, everybody, to our podcast, Inside the Climb. As always, I'm one of your co-hosts, Kylie Freeland. Alongside me, our other co-host, Jack Powers. Across from me is Sam Popper, and next to me, Caleb Davis. Welcome, gentlemen. Tonight, we are at Home and Away. They had you guys here for Q&A. How was that?
Phenomenal.
It was a great event. It was really fun. We finished about 30 minutes ago.
Okay.
And I had a great time. It was fun to kind of have, different people from the community. Probably had around, 20 people here. Maybe is that a
Give or take.
give or take?
It's always great to just get out into the community, be around, and really help share our story, which, again, we've talked about on this pod before. It's kind of why we started the pod. But, again, everything we're trying to do for this season, this upcoming group, like, we're just trying to get out in the community, kind of spread our arms around the community, because we've said it a million times, like, this program is going to go as far as the San Diego city and the San Diego community takes us. And yeah, it's exciting to get to, again, share some insight on the program and continue to, again, wrap our arms around the city and the community.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it, too, is just being able to kind of come in agenda-free, and we've talked about, like, wanting to make everybody feel like they are involved in this operation. So, like, different people want to talk about different things. Like, we got some questions in a variety of areas, from kind of the stuff that we do day to day to items about our program as we get into camp to talks about the future. And I had a good time just kind of informally talking everybody through kind of like what they were thinking in a ton of different spots.
I think you kind of hit on it best. Like, everyone in there was able to get what they wanted out of it. Like, every fan was able to ask personalized question that's important to them and their journey. And again, it's another way for us to just give back. Like, how can we give back to the community that inevitably is going to continue to give back to us and give back to the kids in our team? Because that's really what it's all about. How can we pack Snapdragon Stadium? How can we keep on elevating this thing to where we make 2026 the year of the Aztec?
100%. Jack, what'd you think? You were in attendance?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought there were a lot of great questions, and I mean, I think we should start it right off with the fall camp questions and, kind of give the update on fall camp, how it's been going so far. I know it's kind of the same thing day in, day out, but it's a grind. And what are you seeing from the offensive side, also the defensive side, and how are some of those questions being filled as you watch them?
Am I cutting you off?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
See, it's always funny, just so you guys know, as we do this, like, me and Sam try to, like, kind of make eye contact to figure out who's going to take each
We were
question.
just talking about that before we
And then we have certain ones that I feel like I got a great answer to, and then sometimes, like, you see the twinkle in your eye and I got to let you go.
I'm like, yo, I got this.
But no, I think one thing, this is one of the first fall camps I've been around where, like, the offense and defense has genuinely had different great days. Like, usually, again, most places I've ever been, like, the defense kind of wins early because a defensive unit, if you're playing fast and you're playing hard, even if you have some MAs, like, things still find a way to work out because you play with physicality. But offensively, if one guy makes a mistake, it can ruin the entire play. So this has been a really, really cool fall camp because it feels like one day the defense just shuts down our guys, and then the very next day, offense battles back. And then you might have one period that offense goes and runs a 3-and-out, but then the next period they hit a couple explosive plays. So it's been really, really well balanced, and it's been cool to see a lot of different guys on both sides of the ball have really good fall camps.
Yeah, I've had a great time watching the guys. As long as I don't have to tell you what day of the week it is. Like, I've been right on cue with practice and everything, and, a good kind of handle on what our roster is right now, and, like, a lot of different positions are being worked out, but, like, I think there's a lot of different strength points that our team has that are all pretty exciting.
And I know some of those questions were guided towards the special teams side of the ball. I mean, you lose a guy like Gabe Placencia, right? It's hard to find someone to replace that. How confident are you guys in the kicking going into the season and the speculation people have in that?
Yeah, I was just saying, all those guys have elevated each other as we've kind of had a competition in that spot. And, I think the specialists as a whole have all done a good job. Like, Tashi's done a good job punting the ball. And, we have a couple different long snappers that have done a good job from that standpoint. Like, I think specialists are a group that kind of obviously, right, the stereotype is like they, go to the beat of their own drum. But I also think, like, that's a position just like the quarterback room where it's so much so about, like, the camaraderie of the group and kind of, how they all go and the confidence that they can give each other. And, I think a lot of those guys have definitely gotten better as they go along. And I'm really excited to see who kind of, like, takes the reins as we get to the end of camp.
you hit on everything I was about to say. So hats off to you, Sam.
Talk about some of the questions that you remember the most that some fans asked you today that really stood out that you just found important.
So the one that I enjoyed the most talking about was different questions as it relates to, what our GM meetings are like with the, whether it's a transfer that's on a visit or whether it's a high school player that, is on their official visit in the summer and they're kind of dissecting the process. Because, I think a lot of the, people that were here tonight kind of wanted to hear about what those, kind of like big time, high level, high pressure, right? Like money discussions are. And Caleb and I talked a lot about how for us, that's really not the purpose of those meetings as much as it is about who we are, how we'll operate with them. They need to understand that the same people that we are in that meeting are the same people that we're going to be with them for, 3, 4, however long they're here, years, right? Now I guess say 5 years now, I guess 5 for 5, right?
Yeah.
But like making sure that they know, hey, in disagreements, this is what it's going to be like. Hey, when you have doubts about certain things, this is what you come ask us. These are things that you need to come into our office and talk about all the time. And these are the things that we are going to always talk with you about. And the confidence I felt like from our commits and their families of knowing what we were going to be like with them for 4 years, more so than, hey, we're just telling you what you want to hear right now to get you to commit, I think helped us a lot, regardless of kind of what the bottom line is, as we kind of have those conversations. And I don't necessarily think that, people here were kind of expecting the conversation to go in that way. So for me, it was kind of like fun to take it there.
Yeah, and it was really cool, too, to kind of just piggyback off of what genuine recruiting is.
Yeah, 100%.
Again, we talked a lot about just how college football changed, how it continues to change, but really, like, what do we do to stay true throughout it? And I've always said from the moment I got hired here, like, I truly believe with all the change in college football, people think it makes certain things not important anymore. I think it actually amplifies the need for relationships, the need for genuine recruiting, the need for all these different things that people think aren't the case anymore. Because, again, now with the transfer portal, if you're not genuine and honest in recruiting, kids can leave after 1 year.
Right.
Or if you don't explain your process and you're not kind of forthcoming with how you do things, like, they're going to leave or they're going to be unhappy. And again, that relationship piece, to be able to have a conversation with a kid that a school's probably already tampering with the moment he has one good game. Like, if you don't have that relationship, then you're going to end up losing more and more kids each year, versus if you have open, honest conversation and you don't shy away from the fact that you can't come in and talk to us about anything, then you can really build a team and a culture of openness. And again, I think that's one of the reasons why we retained as many kids as we did.
So Caleb, let me know if you kind of picked this up, but the one area when I really felt like kind of what you were saying is when Ken asked us if we have 2-year agreements for our players, 2 to 3 year multi-year agreements. And like the first thought that kind of came into my head with that is I didn't really want to like take the conversation back to where you're just taking it. But the first thing that came to my mind with that was like, that's exactly what we're just talking about. Because if you really need to give someone a 2 to 3 year deal, regardless of what you're doing, if you feel like the only way you're going to keep a kid for 2 to 3 years is to give them a 2 to 3 year agreement, you're already wrong. Because even if you contractually lock the kid in, if they are not happy and you are not giving them the experience that they feel like they were led on to believe they were going to have, it's not going to work anyway, right? So it's like that point that you're mentioning, that's where that stuck out to me. Because in my mind, it's like, okay, like, no, this is kind of where the thinking needs to be in that point.
There's a big misconception because people just think, how can we just lock in kids for 3 years? Like,
right, like you can't.
How can we just keep rosters the same as it used to be? And it's like, it's not what it used to be, but that doesn't mean it's worse. Like, I actually think there's a lot of things that, depending on how you look at it, are better in today's day and age. Like, if a kid goes to a school and was recruited by 3 years by one staff and that staff gets fired, like, again, right, wrong, or different, that kid shouldn't be forced to stay in a situation that he's not comfortable with.
Right.
And it goes the same way, like, just all around. Like, if things aren't the right fit that you thought were the right fit, like, you don't have to force that issue and honestly make kids miserable for 4 years. Now you can kind of, like, do a lot of things genuinely, a lot of things honestly, and I think the real ones are going to win in the end.
Yeah, and I just want to bring up, you guys got called a class act, and our whole staff, but you guys specifically, that word isn't getting thrown around lightly. Like, people sit here and listen to the pod, but how does that make you guys feel? Like, that is your recruiting
They're
specialty.
being very kind.
I was about to say,
Okay, so never
that
mind.
make me feel good about where the rest of the world sits right now. I mean, hey, we try to do the best job we
I
can.
know. What class is it?
Is this study hall or is this gym class?
Right. But I will say this. I enjoy, like, the fact that people actually came to this event, like, made me feel, like, happy. Like, I have a lot of gratitude for that. I know you do too, because, like, it takes a lot for us to kind of, plan an event and just come here and speak, and, like, for somebody to actually, like, show up and care, like, that meant a lot to us.
To me, like, when we talk about class act, I think the biggest compliment that comes from that is the fact that, like, we just had one of our current players' family here, one of the parents here, enjoying this event, asking us questions.
Yeah, that was
And, like,
awesome. That was really cool.
Those are the moments where it's like, okay, this impact in the recruiting process, like, it really mattered. And again, they're not from San Diego. They drove an hour and a half, 2 hours to come be here today.
Yeah.
And, like, those are the ones, like, to be honest, you hear words thrown around. And again, a lot of times, like, yes, it's really cool. Our reputation is so key. Like, it makes me feel good. But when it comes from the people that are in it, like a parent or like a fan that's been around for 30 years, season ticket holder, like, that's where it really, really is impactful to me.
Yeah, and the exciting part too is, like, I met more people tonight than I was expecting. Obviously we've done events as an athletic department, like Caleb and I. We've been kind of out around the community before. Like, I actually got to meet a lot of people here, which I was, like, super grateful for.
And then kind of something that I thought led the conversation tonight was your guys' optimism in the Pac-12 conference next year and what it means for the college football playoffs. Did you guys kind of reiterate your responses to those questions? I know, Caleb, you said, like, for the next 5 years, you expect the Pac-12 to be in the playoff talks.
Yeah, I think all things considered equal, we've positioned ourselves as a conference and as a league to be the front runners for that at the start of every single year. I mean, you even look at, again, I'm not a big preseason ranking guy because I think a lot of that is BS because we don't know who we are yet.
It does show the public perception, though.
But if you look at every preseason ranking, 1 through 138, the best league right now outside of the four that people talk about is the Pac-12.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's something that's only going to grow in realism over the next 5 years. And as we continue to elevate every aspect about it, I think it's going to be something that year over year gets even better and better.
Yeah, it's also like a top to bottom league. It's a league that every team in there, for the most part, is playing, like, there's a lot of really good out of conference matchups. And it's funny, like, you and I both had a different response to the question of whether we thought the Pac-12 would have an automatic bid in the playoffs in whatever it was, 5 years. And it's just interesting because obviously neither of us actually know, right? We're just grasping at straws just like any fan can. But it was kind of cool to talk about, like, where we think the conference is going relative to, college football itself, as the, alignment stuff always changes. And, I think the general consensus is that it's a terrific thing, again, to have, like, a premier conference in the West Coast back. Like, that was something that was clearly missing over the last couple of years. The fact that it is back, I think, has reinvigorated a lot of the West Coast into, like, being involved nationally in, like, the college football landscape. And, like, this was a, like, really kind of, I think, good part of that we'll be able to build on.
Pac-12 after dark, we're back, man.
Yeah, after dark, it was big time. Everybody except for my mother are huge fans of it. My mom doesn't like it because it starts at 10 p.m. local time. She don't stay up.
See, my grandma, also Eastern Coast time, she sets her alarm at 2 a.m. and texts me at the end of each game, but she doesn't watch it.
I actually love that idea.
And then, Caleb, like, one last thing. I think you talked about, you had a lot of questions about how the Pac-12, reputation-wise, helps financially San Diego State. Can you kind of talk a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. I think just the branding perspective in how we have been able to be innovative and creative as a league is paramount because, again, it's not necessarily like, okay, one thing happens and boom, we get a huge jump to the budget, but year over year you have this constant growth and this constant snowball effect of where, okay, this team makes a playoff, now helps the entire conference in, because there's a flex week, and now we potentially can get more bowl teams eligible. Like, we're going to get this continued enhancement to the conference, to the brand, that, again, is it going to be overnight, boom, we're phenomenally better? No, even though we're probably slightly better, a little bit better, but I think year over year we're going to look back. Again, everything we do today is how can we put Aztec football in the forefront 3 to 5 years from now.
Well, how about home and away hosting us tonight?
Terrific.
We're incredibly grateful. This has been a heck of a venue. I've actually never been here. I tell my girlfriend we don't get out to Old Town or anywhere out here nearly enough, and this is an amazing spot to, I don't know if there's ever an Aztec away game, maybe host a watch party. I mean, we're incredibly grateful for their gracious hostliness.
Hostliness. Yep, we'll add that to the dictionary.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look that up.
I'm grateful to the chicken tacos. Those were fantastic. Great way to start the event. Yeah, those were awesome.
I probably don't want to say it, but they got these tater tot nachos. Holy cow. I did not need to eat nearly as much as I did.
Yeah.
But I did, and they were incredible.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for giving us a little recap, and thank you to Home and Away for having us. If you guys are ever out in the area, make sure to stop by and make sure to subscribe to the We Believe Substack.
We Believe Substack.
Yes, and we'll see you guys next week for our next podcast episode of Inside the Climb. Thank you.
Absolutely. Get your season tickets.
And go to the scrimmage this weekend.
Go to the scrimmage this weekend.
This won't be out in time, will it?
Probably not.
Okay.
So
We
in
won the
recap,
scrimmage.
we won the scrimmage. It was a great scrimmage. The Aztecs won.
Wait here, where was it? Let me check.
We got another Q&A session at Shorerider
Shorerider in
Coming
La
up.
Jolla.
in La Jolla,
On the 18th.
next to the La Jolla
On the
Beach and Tennis
18th.
Club.
It'll be, 2 days after this podcast is released?
Yep.
So, on
Nice.
the 18th, Shorerider.
Yeah, we'll do the same event. And you know, the one thing I also want to share too to, you know, everyone listening is the whole point of these events, kind of like, you know, we talked about at the jump, is, you know, we just want to engage the community, and we want everybody to know that, like, you're a part of this operation, and, like, however you want to be involved, like, we want to make you involved. If you think there'd be a really good event, a place for us to show up, something for us to talk about, a group of people for us to engage with in some form or fashion, like, if any ideas pop in your head, we very much implore you to share them with us, because it's something we'd love to go out and do. We think it'd be a lot of fun.
Sam's going to steal my job one day. All right.
Absolutely not.
Thank you guys for listening, and make sure to subscribe.
And the next podcast, just because we're recording, just in case this is any sort of like pod period here, we just like the way Caleb was holding his microphone was absolutely worth discussion.
I got it on video.
Okay, good. We're good. We're
It
good.
was
We're
so
good.
good.
We're good.
It was so good.
That was brutal. Yeah.